Breaking news, Nigerians. Lagos government begins demolition of Alaba International Market buildings. Give shocking news. These have generated a lot of reactions. But let's quickly hit the news and understand what is going on here. But before then, if you're just joining us, please kindly subscribe to this channel and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. The Lagos state government on Friday began the process towards the removal of distressed buildings in the Alaba market in Ojo, local government of the state. The news agency of Nigeria, NAN, reports that the enforcement team of Lagos State Building Control Agency and the Lagos State Task Force embarked on the joint exercise. The team, which went around to reseal several buildings that had been marked with previous multiple quit seal notices by the Lagos State Building Control Agency, said the measure was to prevent disaster. They advised occupants on the need to move out of the structurally defective buildings, which they said had become too dangerous for habitation. A non-correspondent on the delegation observed that some of the buildings undergoing reconstruction were tight. Conducting journalists around, the enforcement director pointed out some story buildings that were already sinking but being extended with additional floors. The front row of shops of one of the sinking plaza was beautifully adorned with tiles and other materials, while the back was tight on marshy land. Some of the traders who spoke with journalists alleged that they had made some payments towards obtaining building approvals before embarking on renovations. Responding to the situation, the General Manager, Lagos State Building Control Agency, Mr. Oke, told journalists that the government was going to demolish it to save lives. Oke said he usually panicked every time it rained because of the livelihood of any such buildings collapsing to cause mayhem. He said the government valued the lives of residents, which were more precious than the cost of any property. According to him, the government was taking a proactive step and we demolished about 17 of the buildings which were not part of the 349 widely published for demolition. Oke said the occupants had been served a series of notice since 2016 to carry out some necessary actions, but they had been adamant and resorted to harassment of enforcement officers. He added that the agency had to seek the help of the Lagos State Task Force because the occupants constantly used talks to assault the Lagos State Building Control Agency officials whenever they embarked on enforcement. So the general manager said he had suddenly developed a phobia for rain because of the constant fear of defective buildings collapsing, hence the proactive step to save lives. All those buildings are going to go down between now and Monday. The Lagos State Building Control Agency has given them enough notice. Everybody that lives in Lagos State, their lives are worth more than the cost of any building or the cost anybody is going to make on it. This is because when a building is going to come down, it is not going to give you a notice that I am coming down, he said. Oke, however, said all the identified buildings were beyond redemption while listing attributes of distressed buildings to include those already tightened at very bad angles as well as those with different kinds of cracks. He stated that the government had made the process of obtaining buildings approval easy by establishing the Lagos State Building Control Agency district offices across all divisions. He advised Lagos residents with valid land documents and building plan approvals to visit or write the Lagos State Building Control Agency office for authorization to commence construction. Oke said this would ensure effective monitoring and supervision. You never see anything, idiot people. Shebi una say shouting. Una dey shout say Lagos na no man's land. Sanwo-Olu and Obasa go show una shege. Bunch of criminals. I'm talking to Indigo. Wow, someone just dropped that. This person is taking it to another dimension. Unless there is more to this. If it's what the Lagos State Building Control Agency a manager said is the reason why the buildings should be demolished to save life, is good. But if you are saying because you want to use it to get back to a particular region, that is really very wrong. That is really very wrong. Someone said, Igbos are your target, so no wahala. We are the spare grass of success. We shall bounce back. 100% sure, someone also replied. The only offense Igbos committed is because they contested for presidency and thereafter challenging the INEC anointed winner. That is why they were subjected to several attacks in Lagos and so many other states. Politics of hatred is in the bone marrow of Yorubas, but one day God must surely judge you people. I'm dropping it here, guys. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section.